Rabbi say, we're going to learn the dinim associated with Birchas HaTorah.
But what page, please?
The bracha on the Torah, which is page Kuf Ayin Aleph.
Kuf Ayin, okay. Okay, good.
It's Kuf Ayin Aleph. Simin Mem Zayin Dinei Birchas HaTorah Abba Yud Sifim. Birchas HaTorah Tzarich Lehizoyer Ba'ma'oid. One needs to be very cautious with saying the bracha on the Torah. Shlei Charva Ha'aretz and Pnei Shlei Baruch Hu Ba'Torah Tchila. The land was only destroyed because they did not bench the Torah before they learned Torah. What does it mean they didn't bench the say the bracha? Shlehaisach shuva beineim kol kach levarich aleha lekach hayu mezalzem beberchosa. It was not choshev enough. They're learning Torah that they should make a bracha on it before.
They didn't treat.
Therefore, they're mezalzel the bracha. V'chein lehigina aleim teirasam af b'she'asku b'harbi. Even though they learned a lot of Torah at that time period, however, because they were not careful with the Birchas HaTorah, even though Torah magna matzle, Torah is supposed to protect one from branies, from misfortune, it did not protect them, and therefore the land was destroyed. L'kach yira kol adam. Every person should see to himself, Shetiyeh kli chemdasei shal kadosh baruch Hu. The precious vessel of Hashem, shehoyim mishtasheh ba kol yoyim, and Hashem enjoys every day, which is the Torah. Chashuva be'einav levarech aleha v'simcha yoyse me'akol hanoi sheba'olam. Should be very chashiv to him to make a bracha on it b'simcha, with joy, more than all the other pleasures in the world. Because in every pleasure you have to make a bracha. Hana, and every bracha. Every food you eat, and every reyach you smell, any hana you have to make a bracha. But this hana which you have, the hana of learning Torah, you should have an even bigger simcha. Someone who makes a bracha in such a manner, that shows that he learns Torah for the sake of Torah. V'yiske l'shalsheles hanimshech lo'isek ba l'shma. He will receive the reward that is given to someone who learns Torah l'shma for the sake of Torah. Shelo yemushu mipicha pimezaracha pizerzaracha. The Torah will not depart from your mouth, from your children's mouth, and from your grandchildren's. Shetase sheilose ubakashase shevakish b'rachasa, the bakasha which one requests in the bracha, v'niya nachnu v'tzetzeinu, that we and our descendants, v'yesh medaktikim l'hoyse v'tzetzeinu, like we say, kikol shu bnen hu ubnoi b'emrei tamil chacham shuv in Torah pesekes mizarei li'olam. Anyone who his son and his son's son are Talmidei Chachamim, the Torah never leaves his family forever. Ve'ein tzarech lekach ki bechlal tzetzeinu and gam ki b'banim. One does not need to say tzetzeinu, because tzetzeinu includes all descendants. It doesn't just only include your children, it includes also bnei banim, grandchildren, and on in the words tzetzoyin.
When they don't say kol yotzei halatzenu.
That's why it says it in parentheses in the Siddur. The tzetzeinu is
Some people say it, some people
yeah,
don't
because
say.
he's saying here it's not necessary. It's
You know, see the
understood.
tzetzoinu.
What?
You know, see the tzetzoinu.
Yeah, oh, you mean the Chabad
Yeah.
Siddur? Yeah. No, but in the regular they have it, but in Sagrayim.
someone one time came to the Rebbe and he complained that when he does Torah, mitzvahs, certain things, he feels gaiva, feels haughty about it. What should he do? So the Rebbe explained to him that imagine someone who earned $1 million. He earned $1 million. And then he also earned a nickel. What chashivas does the nickel have klapi the $1 million? He said what you got from the mitzvah, what you got from the learning, is $1 million. So whatever the gaiva which you had, that's the nickel. That's b'chal. There's no chashivas to that. That's not. If you focus on that, realizing what you just accomplished, what it is, so that b'meila be a different outlook. Someone one time spoke to the Rebbe about what does it mean Torah Lishma, and the Rebbe went through many different levels of learning Torah, and each level he explained that that's not Torah Lishma. So even someone who learns Torah because he wants to connect to the Eibishter, he said because you want to connect to the Eibishter, that's also in a subtle form, in Shalei Lishma, in a subtle way, because you're learning the Torah for a purpose. And through the Torah, I'll be connected. So the Rebbe said that learning Torah has to be for the ultimate, obviously. The ultimate limud HaTorah is something by someone who's on a Hoicha Madrega, is someone who learns Torah just for the Torah itself. And he gave a mashal that if a child didn't see the father for a long time, and then he finds out his father's nearby, he immediately turns and runs to his father and he says, Tata, Tata, Father, Father. So he said, when the child's running to the father, is he running to the father because he's going to connect to the father, because he's going to get something from the father? No, he runs to the father because that's his father. So the connection that a Jew has with the Torah is that a Jew, he sees a sefer, he opens a sefer. There's no whys, there's no weird, there's a calculation about it. This is Torah. This is a Jew and Torah, Araisa, Yisov Araisa, Kutshabicha Kulachad, the Zohar says. They're all one, Torah and Yid and Hashem. So the person who was asking the Rebbe, he said to the Rebbe, he was in the Yechidus by the Rebbe, he said, did you ever see such individuals who, on this level? The Rebbe stopped, paused for a moment, and was quiet, and then the Rebbe said he did. He saw some individuals that were on this madrega. Obviously, in a simple form, learning Torah for the sake of connecting to Hashem is learning Torah Lishma. Every level has deeper levels, and it can keep on going higher and higher. The deeper levels. It says a kol oisik, a person should be oisik lo'olam yumad adam Torah Shalai Lishma. Shemitay Shalai Lishma Balishma. A person should always learn Torah Shalai Lishma, because when you learn Torah Shalai Lishma, you'll eventually come to learn it Lishma. The Rebbe pointed out that this Chazal, the Lashon is Lo'olam. This is always the Seder. You can't get to Lishma without Shalai Lishma. The Seder is that you're supposed to learn Torah Shalai Lishma, and that's the way how you get to the Lishma. But it doesn't mean that when we mechanech a child, mechanech children, that we don't have to educate them and tell them that the Shalai Lishma, not learning Torah for the sake of Torah, is the ultimate. That's not the ultimate. Child should know, we tell children we learn Torah, and we tell ourselves that Torah we learn because it's Hashem's Torah, and we're supposed to learn Torah. And that's the way we connect to Hashem. However, because we're not on the level to learn Torah at that level, so we need to prod along the children and prod ourselves along with other methods. We enjoy it, it makes sense, it's a geschmack, the child gets prizes and different things, but not that we're learning for the prize. You'll get a prize if you learn,
right,
but not you learn Torah for the prize. What you tell the child is that you learn Torah because Torah is Hashem. he's a child. He can't learn Torah for that. That's not something he's mature enough to relate to. For Seder, but so you have to give him prizes and get him along. But not that is the goal.
But even David HaMelech said, "Lule Tayraska Shashuai Azavati Banyi." So the psychological thing is legitimate. That Torah is Mesameach, right?
It says, "Mides Hayili Chukecha Bebeis Megurei." David HaMelech said, "The Bebeis Megurei, my place of wandering, where I would have to wander away because I was being chased by all my different enemies."
Yeah.
So, "Zmides Hayili Chukecha." Your chukim Hashem, the pasuk in Tehillim. Your chukim were zmiris to me. Your Torah was songs to me. That helped me go through these trials and tribulations.
So you see, it's legitimate.
Well, I say, of course, David HaMelech. There's legitimate in every level. Now, it says in Zohar that David HaMelech was punished for this. It's a Santa Zach. Now, obviously, a regular person, every person looks to his level. He's not going to expect it. So David HaMelech, the Zohar says, why was David HaMelech punished? Torah? That's not Torah. Torah is not the fact that you're going to be able to be saved from your enemies. You should realize that what Torah is, the ultimate of Torah. David HaMelech was the mandate that he should have realized was the obviously every person to their level. We're not tzaddikim. But
I mean, like you say, you can't teach children. I don't get it either. I'm not a children, and I also don't understand.
The Shalah Kaddish says,
what's Lishma? Without anything, without Simcha, without a Geschmack in it. What? You know what I'm saying? That's so too abstract. I mean, I'm just throwing it out.
No, listen, when we say child, by the way, child means not only children, literally. Child means anyone who's not at the level that needs to be brought. Now, adult is brought along differently. The Shalah Kaddish writes that when it means Torah Shalah Lishma, it's everyone to their age. When you're young, they give you something sweet. If you're a little older, they give you money. And you're even older, we'll tell you it will give you a good shidduch.
Right.
And every level, what talks to that level of the person, whatever a person could do, in a chanami. But a person, the education that we educate ourselves and other people is not that that's what it's about. That's what prods us along. But what it is, we can't distort what Torah is in its purity. We know we're not on that level. But we say that Torah is supposed to be learned for the sake of Torah, not because we're going to gain honor. Could be someone that's what brings him to learn Torah, the honor. So in a chanami, he has to use that out. He has to use that out. But in his mind, he should know the emes. That's not what Torah is all about. He shouldn't leave 120 years of his life.
But even the Gemara says, Barasi Yaitzahara, Barasi Torah Tavlin.
Yeah.
So you see, that's a utilitarian. I mean, Ein Lecha utility G'dayla Mizu, let's say.
Ein a chanami. But Cook. Again, Lishma also, not only Lishma itself has different levels. It's to every person. As one goes up to one level, the truth in one level to the next level is considered sheker. As every level goes up, the avoida of the previous level, it becomes, but it's only legabe the previous level, higher level. Legabe that level itself, it's the emes.
Yeah.
It's the emes. Each level itself is emes. Every person has to reach his ultimate, her ultimate. But legabe someone who's on a higher madrega, that's not the ultimate. They could reach higher. They could see to reach higher. Barasile tavlin in the chanami. Torah no shayla ban mashchela beis hamedrash. Torah is an antidote against all issues. But to say that that's all there is to Torah, and the Torah is kli shashuyim of the Eibishter, he doesn't have a yitzhahar of the Eibishter.
Okay.
I'm just bringing out a certain nekuda that. Anyways, went off on the side a little bit. Okay. Lamaisa is. So there's an inyan that a person should make the bracha b'simcha to realize what he has. Siv beis. Tzarech levarich bein l'mikol levad, bein l'mishal levado, bein l'talmud levade, bein l'midrash levade. Shakoil toidihi. Whether you're learning only psukim, only mishnayis, only gemara, only medrash, it's all part of Torah. V'nitn l'moshe misinai, and therefore you have to say the bracha. someone who thinks words of Torah in tzarech levarech does not need to make the bracha. V'hu adin sheyachol lifsik din b'lenisinas tam l'dvarav. As well, he can paskin a din without giving reasoning. Shezeo gamkin eine lehirer. That is considered like a thought. Hayosi did not say a reason, an explanation.
Wow.
So that's considered, didn't say, like you didn't speak Torah.
Wow.
Behirer lav kedibruhu. Thinking is not like you spoke, and therefore you only make a bracha on dibur. Kimedum, I believe that the Gra has over here a shita where the Gra holds that you do make a bracha on here. Well, the in most places can hold that you don't make a bracha on some only bedibur because it's something tangible. You can make a bracha.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Let's say you wake up, see in 5 minutes a Subsman Kriya Shema. You have to say Birchas HaTorah because Kriya Shema is from the Chumash. Or you could just say Shema.
No, just say Shema.
You just say Shema. Okay. All right.
I'll tell you, when it comes b'chlal to Kriya Shema,
Yeah.
it's not clear if it's limud HaTorah or
It's
it's...
Kabbalah Samach Shemaim, especially if it's
Right.
Manai.
So definitely we are machmer and we do say Birchas Torah before, but if someone's at the last minute,
Yeah, he should.
you shouldn't miss the mitzvah deraisa. Yeah, it's not ma'akiv. It's not
Yeah.
ma'akiv. Siv Gimel. Yesh mishoimer. Some say shakoyse b'divrei Torah. Someone who writes words of Torah. Half b'shini koira. Tzarech havarich. If you're writing, even though you're not reading with your lips, you have to make a bracha. V'hu shakoyse svarim la'atzmei derech limudei u'meivin mashu koysev. That's if you're writing svarim for yourself, learning, you're writing and writing your sefer, and you understand what you're writing, you're thinking. Aval sefer hamaitik, just a copier, like it was very common those days. We didn't have copy machines in every house, where everyone would. Today we each have our own printing press in the house, but then they would have to have a person transcribing a svarim. He isn't trying to understand, he's just writing it over. Like you would hire someone, please write me the sefer over, this kuntus over, because they're going to print it. So you hire someone, pay him some money, and he write it for you.
I was just now when I was in Eretz Yisrael, in the Israel Museum, they had from the Rambam, it was not written by him, but it had Chasimas Yadav, that it was it's an amazing thing to actually see it.
Lashon Kodesh or Arabic?
No, in Lashon Kodesh, yeah, it was, I don't know, it was the Yad, I guess, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. No, it's he didn't write it, someone wrote it out, and he signed that it's okay.
V'cheinim kois v'eze posi v'geres ha'reshus l'zvar tzachis in tzarech havarech kivon she'enim iskaven l'limud. As well, even according to this opinion that holds when you write, you have to say a bracha. However, when you're writing a pasuk in a letter, you're writing a letter to a friend or a family member, and you mention a pasuk, they're just borrowing a terminology from a pasuk. You're not actually trying to learn. You're just using a nice geschmack lashon, a flowery language of a pasuk. So that you don't have to say a bracha because you're not mechaven to learn.
I have a question. Each time we learn Torah, when we speak words of Torah, do we have to recite a bracha, or is it sufficient just to say it one time in the morning?
One time in the morning is sufficient.
Okay.
Now, good question. Now, v'chein v'le'inye l'maisa halacha l'maisa in lismich al dvarev levarech haksiva levado sheni. We should not rely on this opinion to say to make the bracha just on writing. She'eini rak maharer b'divrei Torah, because you're only thinking Torah, so you're not really speaking Torah. Just thinking. Really, when you're writing, it's thinking. You're just thinking. Roy for anyone who writes Torah in the morning, he wants to write Torah. he shouldn't just say Birchas HaTorah on that, on the writing itself. He should say a few words of Torah that he's writing in order that with his mouth, or he should be saved from a bracha levatala. Im eini oimer psuki b'chas koyin im ashar davar min HaTorah acha bracha shemegin. This is only an issue in a case where you don't say Torah right away. You know, whenever you say a bracha, you're supposed to have the hana right away after the bracha. So to Torah, our minig is we say the Birchas Torah, we right away learn a little bit.
It's in the Siddur.
In the Siddur.
It says if you
Right.
Birchas
Koyanim and the Mishnah and
Eilul Dvarim
Eilul Dvarim Shalom Mashir.
Yeah.
So he says this is only an issue in a case im eini oimer psuke Birchas Koyanim. You're not saying it oishar dam natoyra cha bracha k'moishenei like the minig is. Since that's the minig,
It's good.
it's not an issue anyways.
Yeah.
So you already said some Torah in the morning.
Yeah.
So now, but if you're not doing that,
Yeah.
and you're going to be writing now the Torah, and you're going to say the Birchas HaTorah before you write because you know there's an opinion which says you have to. Don't rely on that opinion to say the bracha in itself. Just say a few words out the dibur with your mouth.
I don't know, I read that before the Med Birkat Torah, a lot of people were dying because they didn't say Birkat Torah. And then the Chachamim, they made Birkat Torah in the morning.
Well,
I read it somewhere. I don't remember.
there's Birchas HaShachar,
In Birkat HaShachar, you have Birkat Torah.
but the Birchas the it says that David HaMelech saw that there were people were nifter. 100 people were being nifter every day.
Right.
Yeah, I read it somewhere.
100 people. 100 people. It was exact number. I don't know. It's a number of 100. Maybe it was 100 of irregular death that wasn't normal. They didn't understand. It said they didn't know why they were being lifted. So obviously it didn't seem regular. People were just not waking up. Whatever the story was, it wasn't something regular that was natural. And still, that's why he made the 100 to Masak and 100 brachas a day. But that wasn't specific at Birchas HaTorah. What we did read right before in Birchas HaTorah is that Eretz Yisrael was destroyed. The Churban came because they were not careful and the bracha.
This way.
It doesn't say actually that they weren't careful with the bracha.
When I was growing up, we used to hear drushes from Rabbanim all the time. They said, what does it mean? Shelo berchu b'Torah tchila. They didn't make the Torah a priority that comes first. Like in Yeshiva, you have to first have Limud Kaddish and then Limud Chol. That's what they were madgish. They spoke about that. I don't know who was the first one who was Medayik on
The
tchila.
early years in America, that was something that was an issue. That was pushed a lot. Siv Daled. Birchas HaTorah. What is the bracha of the Torah? What is it? Asher kitchanu b'mitzvos v'vitzvanu al divrei Torah. V'nusach edinis elu. The nusach in these countries is to say lasik b'divrei Torah. V'harivna. Then is v'harivna v'ashabach harbanu. Then v'ashabach harbanu. V'ger yachal avarach gam kin shabach harbanu. V'ger can also make the bracha ashabach harbanu b'kol amim. Nas monas teirasei. That Hashem chose him in Matan Torah. This is famously from the Igeris of the Rambam and a Tshuva to the Vavadya Hager. The Rambam tells him which things he can say. And he could say Laviseinu, and he could say Ashabach Harbanu, because he's also part of Klal Yisrael Hager.
We had this week on Shabbos, first time a girl that became a girl this week, and the first time we went to the Torah was the
We
Shabbos.
sang with him, we danced with him.
We did like a bar mitzvah to him.
Wow.
First
Came
time
a Ger Tzedek last week?
First time I saw it in my life, yeah.
Came a Ger Tzedek a week ago.
Yeah. Went to the mikveh, the tefillah, whatever it was.
Wow.
So the first time going to the Torah, it was like...
But you read the Torah very nice. I mean, the
bracha, yeah,
You
bracha
read it
is
very
very
nice. I'm surprised to hear it at every word.
He's
was
going
very-
to
he
be
was
that moved
nervous.
into the neighborhood now.
I His first time I see him, I never
He
saw
came
him.
with a Persian guy that he bought aliyah for him, a big amount of money.
Wow. Look, the Kaima Mitzvah Haftav Sager.
Also, this Persian first time I saw.
Right.
I never saw him before. They came to Chabad and
Should have taken to Knesset Shluchim like the other guy.
Sif Hey. Yesh shoymim shetzarech leimer v'harei b'vav. Some say one should say v'harei with a vav. Shebracha achesi, because it's one bracha. Mashakicharm says it's vanu. Al divrei soira. Shumatbeya aruch. It's a long bracha. Pisachetz v'barach. It opens with a barach. And it finishes off with a barach. Hisem is barach. Barach at Hashem hamalam mitolam Yisrael. It's all one bracha. So vav, it should be a vav. Hamoisif. Shemhoyi matbeya kotzer. If the first bracha of al divrei soida would be a matbeya kotzer. Matbeya kotzer means a short bracha, like the bracha on Peiris, and it's just a short bracha. The harev he bracha v'hatz, and the harev is a bracha for itself. Hayala liftoyach bevarich. Then the harev should have its own baruch, should its own bracha, because it's a longer bracha. The din is that a bracha needs, every bracha needs to have a beginning and an end. V'seach bevarich and choysim bevarich. However, the brachas that are very short, like the bracha on Beirei Priya Eitz, these brachas are so short. Psichason, hichsimason. It's one and the same. The ending and the beginning is all the same. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu Beirei Priya Eitz. It's psicha and the chasima is it's psicha is the chasima. It's all one and the same. When you have a long bracha, then you could say there's a psicha and there's a chasima. So, according to this opinion, holds that we should say v'hara with a vav, because it's continuing from al divrei soida, and if the raya said that it's one bracha, is because if al divrei soida was one bracha, v'hara was a new bracha, v'hara should have opened up with its own baruch, have a psicha baruch. It doesn't. Or you could answer me, you know why it doesn't start off with a baruch? Because it's bracha smucha lechaverta. The klal is that if you have a bracha next to another bracha, you don't need to open it up with a bracha. For example, alakai neshama shenasat to be tahorah.
Say it after Asher Yatzar.
Say it after Asher Yatzar. Doesn't he say after Asher Yatzar? You don't need to open up alakai neshama for it with a bracha, because even though it's independent bracha, but it uses the psicha of the bracha of Asher Yatzar. It uses Asher Yatzar as its beginning. So you could say maybe Vaharev really is an independent bracha. And the reason why it doesn't open up with a baruch, because it's relying on al divrei soira. The bracha Hashem says al divrei soira. Af apishi bracha smucha lechaverta, ein ze moyo klum. B'makim sha'bracha lefaneo hi matbeya kotzer.
Why don't we open the
Sharei birchas havdalah pesachas v'baruch. Af apishi smucha lebirchas neva psamim hoyel v'hin ktzaris.
Why don't we open the Birchas HaTorah right away, the first things? Yeah. So until you wash your hands, did you? Birchas HaTorah, first things.
First you have to say Asher Yatzar, because that's the
Okay,
Seder.
so Asher Yatzar. You finish Asher Yatzar, do Birchas HaTorah, first things.
No, I tell you, the answer to that is because,
There's a Seder.
right, you want it,
You
you
put
say
your
the
shoes, you
right,
say thank you.
exactly.
Until you get the Torah, you take a couple of minutes.
Yeah, until you're all dressed and everything like that.
Right.
Well, but here in the Siddur here, that's how they have. That's what they have. You have the Tilas Yudayim, Asher Yatzar, and then Alakaim Shamul. It depends. Most Siddurim don't print it right after, but here it has it right after. And then they right away, last thing with the Torah. That's how it is.
They say that in the
most
house.
Siddurs.
They say in the house.
I don't know. I mean,
people say
in the house. Some people say in shul.
The people that say it in shul.
Yeah.
Do they
Say
say
it
the
loud.
Birchas HaTorah out loud also, or
Yeah,
no?
say it loud.
Birchas HaTorah also.
Well, how come in Civ base, the Alter Rebbe doesn't write chassidus, anything about Mr. Torah?
Because they didn't learn this to the Torah. Most people didn't learn this to. That's probably that's the reason. Or it's included in Medrash. The Zohar is actually called by the Beis Yosef Medrash Hanelam, the hidden Medrash. The form of a Medrash, just
It's all there.
yeah. Good question. L'maisa, you can't say that V'harev is a bracha smucha l'chaverta, and that's why it doesn't open the Tabarach, because the bracha before it is a short bracha. When you have a short bracha, Matbeya Katzer can't help. He gives an example. Havdalah. Havdalah, we say, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu Chalam Ha'avda Min Kodesh L'Choil. We open up with a baruch and we chosim the baruch. Why are we saying with a baruch? We have brachas right before. We have the baruch of Psamim right before. The baruch of Ner right before. If you have the baruch of Ner, why do you need a baruch? It's a bracha hasmucha l'chaverta. Obviously, it must be that the rule is that when do we say that a bracha is smucha towards chaver? If it doesn't need a bracha, it's only when that earlier bracha is a long bracha. For example, Ashiyatzar. Ashiyatzar is a long bracha, therefore that will help for a Lakai Neshama, does not need to open up with a bracha. But the bracha, Barir Marir Ha'esh, is not going to aid Birchas Havdalah, and therefore it's not a bracha, it's not considered a bracha smucha l'veret, and you have to say it's all bracha. So therefore, V'harev na, it must be a continuation. And therefore you have to say it with a vav, according to this opinion. So it's really, there's only two brachas in the morning we're saying. Al divrei Soira is one bracha till Baruch atah Hashem Elam Etel Yisrael. It's one bracha according to the opinion. And then we say second bracha Shabach Harbanu. However, v'yeshoyim on the top of page Kufayin Gimel. No, Harev hi bracha b'fnei atzma. Not v'harev. Harev is a bracha for itself, indeed. And we actually are saying three brachas every morning. Al divrei Soira, Harev, and Hashabachar. L'chora, it needs to have a bracha before it. It needs to open up a bracha with a baruch. Every bracha needs to have a baruch before. And we said before, it's not considered a bracha smucha l'chaverta because the bracha before Birchas Haner is a short bracha, matveya katzer. So what's happening? This shita says no. You know why Havdalah is it doesn't help the Birchas Haner for Havdalah? It's not because it's short. Even a short bracha can help for the next bracha to consider a bracha smucha l'chaverta. The reason why it doesn't work is, you know why? Because Ner doesn't have to be ala kois. Besamim doesn't have to be ala kois. If you didn't have Besamim or Ner, you could say it later. You could do it earlier. What did we do Tisha B'Av? We make matzah this year. What did we do Matzah Shabbos? We set on the Ner without the kois. The kois, Chazal said to say it on the kois, but if you don't have it the kois, you still say it. So since they're not intrinsically associated dafke to be here on the kois, and you could yotzim mat ala kois, so therefore it doesn't have the status of bracha smucha l'chaverta.
Another.
And that's why Havdalah has b'speseach baruch, and the Harev is considered bracha smucha l'chaverta Harev na, because right before it you have al divrei Soira. It's just the fact that it's a matveya kosser is not an issue to be considered a bracha smucha l'chaverta. That's really the yisoid of the machlokes here. Do we look at a matbeya kotza, short bracha, can it be considered a bracha help for the next bracha, that the next bracha is considered a bracha smucha l'chaverta if it does not need to begin with a baruch or not? The first sheet says yes. And that's why by Havdalah it does not work. The Birchas Haner does not help, and Hamavdal needs to have its own psich of a baruch. Because the matbeya kotzer, it's not considered a bracha smucha l'chaverta. Mashik in the second opinion says no. Birchas Havdalah really in Inyan Birchas Haner could help. Amatbeya Katza could help. The issue is that Birchas Haner is not kavua here. It does not need to always be here. Because you could say the Ner Meir Meir Eish without the kois.
How come some brachot has Asher Kiddishanu and some not?
If it's a mitzvah, it's a shekishan. If it's not a mitzvah, you don't say v'tzivan. Like,
well, when you eat fruit.
It's not a mitzvah to eat fruit. You want to eat fruit. Thank Hashem because you had hana. You thank Hashem for I had hana. You don't have to eat fruit. By the way, your body pri hagafen by Kiddush on Shabbos.
It's a chiyuv.
It's a chiyuv. So you're enjoying the Kiddush, you're having Kiddush, but you're chayiv to have this. It's a birchas mitzvahs. You're mighty lechem in aretz. Over here, you have to have it.
But from this machlokas,
Yeah.
whether it's a bracha with a mabei kutzer or this,
Right.
and they're coming with the idea that with Havdalah and but it seems maybe that the dominant theory, that's followed, is that if it's a long bracha, then it's samach, because you see by tfilas derech how people are eating something and they say al michi or something, al peiris, and then they say tfilas derech, because it doesn't start. Those people who do that, or they say ashiyatza, whatever. They don't say Bari Priya Eitz and then go and say Tfilas Derech. You know what I'm saying? In those Svarim, what it writes about it.
So, well, but it could be again. The Svara could be over there because it's not kavua.
Why?
The other shita will tiny. You know why? Because it's not kavua. Because the bracha that you're saying, the Bari Priya Eitz,
Yeah, right. What?
it's not kavua over here. That's why it doesn't work. Not because it's matbei kotzer, because it's not kavua.
So if you say ala peiris, you say a bracha achrona, that's kavua. It's just an artificial thing. You're just saying it because you have a chash.
I hear what you're saying. It could be over there. Right, I hear what you're saying. It could be that the vort is just try to be yoitz of that shita. I'm not sure,
No, I mean, I don't know for sure. I'm just throwing it out. I'm saying it from there. It's mishtameya that the shita that that the smochas with the longer matbeya. So
I hear. Yeah. That. By the way, that's what Alter Rebbe writes in Siman Kuf Yud. That you should, if you're going in the middle of the day, if you're doing in the morning, you're going to set on your journey. After Hagoyma Chasadim Tevil Am Yisrael.
Yeah, you should say it.
Yeah, if you're starting to walk, if you're already going on your trip, then you'll say Tfilas Haderech right afterwards to make it, because Yehiratz doesn't have a bracha before.
Right.
Right. The Amos says that doesn't need. He says B'chlal Tfilas Haderech Esamas Habarach Ve'ene Pesachas Habarach She'ene L'Bakoshes Rachamim. It's a tefillah. It's not begeder bracha. Half a bikain toiv la'smicha le'ez a bracha tishetia bracha asmucha l'chaverta.
Sometimes we're going to eat something.
He said, "V'hoylach ba'emes hayoyim. What should he do? Yoichel a yishtek a shir, shivar b'chen. You should eat a drink enough of a shir, not enough that he took a little sip. Like you're saying, just to say a shahakol. You have to eat and drink the shir, or yatel mayim, or after one went to the bathroom, yivarach hashayatzar, miyachik yaskel miyad yiratzim fanech, start right away.
I think, but this whole thing is because the Tefillah Sederach says Baruch Atah Hashem or something Shemei Tefillah. I don't know. It's different as or but
correct.
That's what's making it the whole problem, right?
I hear it's a good, interesting point.
You don't stop.
What?
You finish with boch, but you don't start with boch.
Right. So, but I'm saying, but the rabbi just now said it's Bakashis Rachmam. It's not really a bracha. It's I don't know. It's a tefillah because Chas v'shalom you're afraid or going in the road. But it ends with that Baruch Atah. So
it's
that
like a
was the whole
kamiyah,
problem.
to protect you.
Yeah.
Chamsa.
Some people believe it's experiential. Although the Gemara says you have to say it when you got a certain amount out of the town, and there's shiurim about it.
I don't know. Maybe either of the vart is that opinion is the ikar opinion, even if it's not kavua.
Yeah.
Unless we tiny, maybe that matbeya aruch will work even if it's not kavua. I'm not sure. It's a good kasha. You have to look into that. Let's take a look a little weiter. So the Yeshayim, Kufayin Gimel, top of the page, first line. The Yeshayim shahadavi bracha me'atzmo. It's a bracha for itself. So we have three brachas of Birchas. Ve'in nedoyim al Birchas Havdalah. Fish Birchas Havdalah ein ismuchali oilam al Birchas Haner b'samim. It's never connected dafke to Birchas Haner b'samim. Not always. Sheim maroitz mevarach al Haner b'samim from the atzmum. If you want, you could do Ner B'samim for itself and then make the bracha Abdallah on the wine. Mitam zeh Pesach is a Birchas Asher Baruch Rabanu Bebaruch. Yishakiyas HaTorah B'tzima Baruch Ha'is V'fnei Atzma. That's actually the reason why Rabbi Yisai, L'kula Alma, let's get to the third bracha. Asher Baruch Rabanu always comes in continuation from a longer bracha of a hariv. So why should we say with a bracha in the beginning? You have a psich already. A bracha smucha lechavert, it doesn't need. Why does the third bracha, Birchas Shabanu, have a baruch before? Elomai, because the Birchas Asher Baruch Rabanu is not always next to the bracha hariv. We say it before the Torah, for example. We say it on different occasions. So since this bracha is not intrinsically connected dafke to the hariv, so therefore it has a dependency for itself.
Birchas Shevach, it's not a bracha on the mitzvah.
And
They ask the kasha, you don't find usually two brachas on a mitzvah. So one bracha, the first bracha is on the mitzvah. The second bracha is shvach. It's a different kind of bracha.
oh. So therefore, therefore, according to the second opinion, the minig is to say harev without a vav, because it's one bracha, because it's a separate bracha. So what's the ma'is of the psak? What should we do? Is it with a vav, without a vav? Is it one bracha? Is it two brachas? The Alter Rebbe says of a yoyis to you vav. Better to say it with a vav. Why? Even if we go like the opinion, the second opinion, that it's a bracha for itself, and you just added a vav to a big deal. What happens? What was wrong? You said a vav. There's nothing wrong that you said vav. Vav just means and. So what happened? You didn't change the matbei of the bracha. You still yaitze. So according to all opinions, you're going to be yaitze. We say with the vav. So you might as well say with the vav. If you can know the other option and saying it without a vav, and it's really one bracha, it's like you're being mafsik. You're not continuing, and you're saying a new verb, hariv, without saying a vav. V'chein as well al pi hasoid, based on Kabbalah as well, based on the Arizal from the Magen Avraham. He bracha b'fnei atzma, it's an independent bracha. Yishlan is amen bein time, and one should say amen in between. V'af it became yishlan v'hadav avav, and still one should say v'hadav with a vav. Well, Maisa we say with a vav.
That's our nusach, Taka.
Yeah. Sivav. Birchas avara by avas oilam. The bracha we say before Shema. Hoyel birchas kiyishma. Hoyel v'yesha me'ein birchas HaTorah. Since there's something similar to the bracha of the Torah in it, we say the same b'lveinu, given to our hearts, lilmaid, should be able to learn, olamid, to be able to teach. Harezu peiteres m'lavad birchas HaTorah. Someone learns Torah right after Kriyishma Shmoneh. He sits down to learn. Miyad b'lei hefsik. Shos nidis bracha shemeisa k'Torah k'mei l'Kriyishma. And it seems like this bracha is going for learning Torah. You could use avas oilam as instead of the bracha Birchas HaTorah, because it has words that are similar to Birchas HaTorah.
How we can do it after Shema? Yes, it's Shmoneh.
And Shmoneh. Lamed acher kishma v'tfila.
Oh, v'tfila.
And tefillah.
But wait a minute, why would he have that concern? He's saying in the Birchas HaShachar, Birchas HaTorah already, before he says Shachris. You know what I'm saying? If the guy going to the
Right, what
Siddur,
happens if you forgot to say?
You got to say.
or what if he was up all
So
night,
is it
so he didn't say the
yeah,
bracha, so what?
Is it a tefillah lach?
Or we see a minion that
Sure we
saying
can.
it, so we say with the minion.
In other words, for whatever reason, he didn't say Birchas HaTorah. But if he said a Havarabba, he doesn't have to think
If you
about
learned
it.
right away afterwards,
Yeah, after Shmoneh Esrei.
then you won't have to make a bracha on the entire day.
Okay.
Afilu hifsik va'amad v'chazer lemudi. Even if you made took a break, and back to your learning, not an issue. It's not learn right after Shmoneh Esrei, which is the first possible time to learn, because you can't learn in the middle of Kriya Shema and Tefillah. So you have to make a Birchas HaTorah afterwards, because you made a hefsek between the bracha and the mitzvah. Every bracha is supposed to be right before the mitzvah. But if you got involved in other things and then, let me learn now, and I'm relying on my Avas Oilam, it's not going to help you.
Has to be after you
That's
finish
why,
one esrei.
like we said before, that's why the minig is to say those psukim right after Birchas HaTorah in the morning.
Yeah.
To say Birchas Koyanim and Elul Dvarim.
So we started learning. That's good.
We're not necessarily going to be opening up the Gemara right away in the morning.
Yeah. But that's
So to make sure we're Yoitza.
right. Very good.
Well, do you have to say it
Good for
again
the whole
when
day.
we learn after davening?
If he learns right afterwards, he's fine. It's considered a Birchas HaTorah, the Avas Oilam.
But if there's a hefsek,
No,
let's say
it's
an
no
hour or
good.
two.
He has to make another bracha.
But
Only if he's using Avas Oilam.
if he said
Using the bracha of Kriya Shema. But if he's actually saying the Birchas HaTorah like we say in the morning, it's not an issue.
That's enough
No.
for the
Yeah.
whole day.
Yeah.
Well, you're supposed to learn the whole day, that's what.
We'll see. Taking naps, we have to talk about it. Sleeping and what happens to an up a whole night.
That there's no real hesed chatas from the Torah.
Right, that
They
has
bring
other
one of
things
the
are different.
dialogue talks to
Right,
God.
right. Exactly.
Like a mother with a child, they forgot the whole vibe.
However, Yeshayim is another opinion which is more lenient. The Ravid. The Rashba brings a sheet of the Ravid, which he says, Shein tzarech levarech elokein lekara kriyish miyadach ha'avarabo yavasoilum. You do not need to make the bracha only if you do not read Kriya Shema. Kriya Shema constitutes learning. We say Kriya Shema as words of the Torah. So if you say Kriya Shema right after
I have a rabbi.
Avarabba, you don't need to learn after Shema Esrei. That itself. That itself is learning. Avankara miyad acharei daya. But if you say Kriya Shema right away, that's enough daya bekach. Or beiteres limud shekol ayoyim. However, this opinion, the first opinion, didn't hold that way. The first opinion held you have to learn.
Yeah.
So that's I told you the suffix of Kriya Shema. Kriya Shema has the status of limud HaTorah or status of Kriya Shema. It's a different.
So we say Shema at the beginning of davening, and our minhag is to say Shema, the entire Shema, after brachas. But there's a Shema, so then there's another Shema just before the Shema Esrei.
Right. So the Shema we say in Karbanis is in case by the time we get to
Timing.
Kriya
We
Shema,
didn't miss the time.
right. Yeah. Now, what's the halacha like? One should be concerned for both opinions. Therefore, one should not rely on using Avas Oilam instead of the Birchas HaTorah. A person could say to himself, "What do I need to say Birchas HaTorah? I have Avas Oilam. I have very little amount of time. My Avas Oilam is my Birchas HaTorah." Says no, because he should not rely on Avas Oilam and Lo Yom Me'achar Tefillah K'Svara Yishoina, unless you're going to be learning right away after davening. As well, even if you didn't learn afterwards, but since the opinion which says that the Birchas that Kriya Shema is considered limud HaTorah, so if you learn later on after davening, even if you made a hefsek, you should not say the Birchas HaTorah because of the opinion that says that you were already yaitz with Kriya Shema.
Would it make it different?
So therefore, you have to be machmer to both sides, and therefore you should be saying it before
in the morning.
in the morning. But if you didn't say it in the morning before, then you should make sure to learn right away after davening. So then you yaitz with Avas Oilam. But if you didn't, you still can't make the brach.
But wait a second. Would you say it makes a difference? Let's say the guy is such a schlepper that he said Kriya Shema's already after his man, so it's Kekari Batayra.
That
Maybe
was
it could be
the
machalik like that, or but that's like.
I hear.
Yeah, for sure.
Doesn't it even say somewhere a lashon like hifsid?
Yeah.
Where does it say that? Where does
Yeah, it says if you read after
So
the
when you
Zman,
daven after the time.
you read Kriya Shema after the Zman, the hifsid because he's Kekayda B'Tayla.
But I think there's some like shitas that I don't know if I'm right. I'm just it's in my mind. Isn't there the shitas that we don't follow? It's not Kriya Shema. Like I think I could be wrong, but it's Seligman cut that like the Rambam himself, I think, says Chatzayis or something. Yeah, he has such a thing.
לא לגעת בזה.
What?
זה
Oh,
כתבתי אמר
okay.
בכיס.
So I mixed it up, but I'm just saying, so.
ואף אחד לא אמר לא לי...
לא לגעת בזה.
אחרי שאתה נוגע בזה, אתה
It's interesting because it's a thing that the Maharsha said that it's a little bit of strong statement that the Ikka limit has HaTorah is right. There's a statement from him about that. Yeah. That the Ikka,
He went more like the Shita, that Ksiva is the Ik, the Ksiva is Birchas HaTorah, you could say in Ksiva.
I would say from that, he didn't say, but I'm saying he has a statement somewhere where he says this.